Hi guys, this is Ritu Tamrate, and once again you are most welcome to my channel Literature with Ritu. So uh, once again I have come with a very beautiful story. The name of the story is Diamond Necklace, and as usual I'm not going to talk about the writer because just a minute, because nothing is asked about the writer, so you can go for yourself for all these things. Fine, so let's start the story directly. Actually, this story is about a girl who is indeed very beautiful, but she's not happy with her fate because she thinks that she's extremely beautiful, but God has God, of course you could call fate as God also. So here it is written fate. See, fate had blundered over her. So, see, she thinks that fate has blundered over her. Why? Okay, let me give you some, first of all, some synonyms for blunder. Blunder means err, misjudge. Okay, so she thinks that fate has erred with her or misjudged with her, in the sense that she was born in a family of artisans. Artisans who are these kinds of peoples. So let's see the meaning over here. People who make things with their hands and are in skilled trade. Fine. So actually this is a kind of trade which is called handicraft, and in this kind of trade, I mean, this trade is a kind of trade which require skills of hands, and it involves a lot of manual occupation. Okay, so and in this occupation, in this trade, people make beautiful things with the skills of their hands, and they sell off these things in order to earn their living. Okay, so of course, by the by the given by the information given by me right now, you can well imagine that these kinds of people are not so wealthy. They were only, I mean, then they were, you can't call them poor for that matter, but yes, they are not as wealthy as was expected by that girl, and she was not at all happy that she was born in such a family where her family was so not poor in the sense, but yes, they were not as wealthy as she wanted them to be. So let's go to the this line. She had no means. Let me start my pen. So she had no means of being known, understood, loved, wedded by a man of wealth and distinction. So she let herself to be married of a clerk. So actually, as she was born in a family, and the family was quite normal. They were not poor, once again I'm telling, they were normal. Okay, so of course the kinds of people they were surrounded with also were normal, because we know that only poor family or poor people can have friends who themselves are poor, of course. And the people belonging to the higher strata of the society uh, only want those kinds of people who come in the same strata, or who belong to the same strata of the society. Fine, so the kind of people. So what I mean to say here is that there are different classes in the society of people. Some are poor, some are very poor, some are middle family, some are more than something more than middle, some are rich. So the kind of people or the class to which they themselves belong to, they wish to have friendship with the same kind of people who belong to the same class in the society. Fine, so the kind of family she was born, they were normal. So of course they were having normal friends, and that's why they were surrounded with the kind of people who were not wealthy or not distinctive from others. But what she wanted, she wanted to marry somebody belonging to the higher strata of the society, but it was not possible for her because she herself belonged to a family who were quite normal. So who will marry such a girl who belongs to the lower strata of the society? Fine, so she could not find anybody who could marry her. However, she was beautiful, but it was not clear why she could not find somebody who could marry her. So ultimately, here she let herself to be married off to a clerk. So ultimately, she found somebody who was himself a clerk, of course. And you know, we know about the clerks also. They also are very simple living people, and they are, you know, normal human beings who can meet their two ends meet only, nothing more than that. Fine. So she found somebody like that, and she had to marry that person, because you know, she did not find anybody around her who was, you know, of her who was like the person whom he she could love or like. Fine. So let's go to the next line. However, she was very unhappy, as though she had married beneath her. So she was unhappy that she had to marry somebody who belonging to the lower strata of the of the society, or lower class of the society. She suffered endlessly, feeling herself born for every delicacy and luxury. So she was suffering endlessly means she was suffering like anything. And why she was suffering? Because she wanted something different, and she got something different in the contrary of what she actually wanted. She actually wanted all the delicacies of life, all the luxuries of life, but on the contrary of that, you know, she got something which was not at all her cup of tea. She was not at all interested, and she was not at all, you know, loving all those things. But she was quite compelled or forced to live that kind of life which she was not liking at all. So again, for delicacy, I'm going to give you some synonyms, so you can write down: fineness, exquisiteness, and delicateness. So you could write these three synonyms in place of delicacy and luxuries. So when she sat down for dinner, so one day what happened, you know, she sat down for dinner opposite her husband, who took the cover of the soup tureen, exclaiming, sorry, delightedly. And what happened? Her husband, you know, took the lead off, and he said, you know, having looked at the soup, that it was so delicious, you know, what could be better? And he said that it was going to be so delicious. But she was not happy, you know. She imagined delicate meals, gleaming silver, and tapestries peopling the walls with folk of past age and strange birds in fairy forest. You know, her husband was so contented with whatever he had got. So her husband was not as aspiring and, you know, ambitious as she herself was. So he said that he said, or he expressed her feelings, that how delicious the meal was, or the soup was. But on the other hand, what she was imagining at that time, she was thinking about something else. What she was imagining, she imagined delicate meals at that time. You know, she was sitting on the dining table, and she was thinking of something else. What she was imagining? She was imagining about, you know, delicate meals, or, you know, and these delicate meals must have been there in some a beautiful silver utensils. Fine. And not only this, her imagination, or her you know, wishes were not you know, ending at that moment of time. Rather, they were more than that. So she what were these? She also wanted some tapestries. You know what is the meaning of tapestries? Let's see here. Tapestry here, thick, let me, yeah, here thick cloth with colorful uh, ornate designs woven into it, that are hung on the wall. So tapestries are something like that. Let me show you. So tapestries are like this. See, these are tapestries, and these are wall hangings that hangs over the walls, and they look so beautiful. And she wanted these kinds of tapestries over there in the walls around her uh, a dining table. But you know, her choices are again somewhat different here, and she wanted something different in the tapestries which should have been there around her dining table. So what are these choices? She wanted the tapestries, like, you know, the tapestries must be something like that, where folk of the past ages, folk of the past ages, like, there must be the images of some people of past ages. Also there must be some images of strange birds of fairy forests. Okay, fairy forests means what? Forests of angels, or some imaginable forests. Okay, so let's go to the next page. So this is the next page. She had no clothes or jewels, and these were the only things she loved. Okay, so the kind of life she was living at this moment of her life, she had got a little interest. The kind of life she was living, and she had got, pretty much more interest in new clothes, jewels, and different kinds of beautiful things she was interested in. But the but of course she was not having these kinds of things, because of which she was extremely unhappy with the kind of life she was leading at that moment of time. So what she longed to charm, to be desired, to be wildly attractive and sought after. And also, not only this, she also wanted to look so beautiful and charming that everybody, should that everybody should be looking for her all the time, and everybody should be desiring of her all the time. And that's what she wanted actually. So one evening her husband came home holding a large envelope in his hand. "Here is something for you," he said. So swiftly she tore the paper and drew out a painted card on which was written. Actually, one day what happened, her husband came with an envelope, and she gave this envelope to her wife. And she when she had a look at the paper, so something was written on it. So what was written? "The Minister of Education, Madam Ramponi, request the pleasure of the company of Monsieur and Madame Loisel at the ministry on the evening of Monday, January 18th." So it is quite obvious from this note that there was a big party at the Ministry of Education, and this Madame Ramponi uh, wanted the company of Mr. and Mrs. Loisel, and the date was January 18th. Instead of being delighted, as her husband had hoped, she flung the invitation across the table, murmuring, What do you want me to do with this?" But she was not at all happy. Even after getting this invitation, which was a very big event which was going to take place at the Ministry of Education. And of course, from the very name itself, it is quite obvious that this is a kind of party which is going to take place at Ministry of Education. There are a lot of big people belonging to higher class of the society, higher strata of the society, are going to attend these kinds of parties, where she was also invited along with her husband. But even then she was not happy. Why? Because of some reasons. And what is the reason? Let's try to understand what the reason behind that. So what she said, "What do you want me to do with that?" She flung the invitation across the table. So flung means she tossed that invitation or that envelope, or she threw that invitation card or that envelope on the table with a lot of with a big bang. Okay, and "What do you want me to do with this?" Then she asked her husband actually what he actually wanted her to do with that. Fine. Now on the other hand, her husband got startled, like he got so surprised at what had happened to her actually, because he was pretty much sure that that kind of invitation from such a big party was going to please her wife very much. But this was not the case. This was not the case. Rather, she got very angry, and she showed that, or it seemed that she had got little interest in these kinds of parties. She asked impatiently, "What do you suppose I am to wear at such an affair?" Now, what was the reason behind her unhappiness even after hearing about that such grand party, that grand event which was to take place, and she was also invited over there? What was the reason behind that? The reason is quite obvious now. She had got no dress, or she had got not no dress which was so beautiful and elegant, which she could wear at such an affair or at such an event. So that's why that made her extremely angry as to what she was going to wear in such kind of parties. Now he faltered. He faltered means he hesitated. And why the dress? You go to the theater, it looks very nice. Now he started remembering the one of the dresses of Mathilde. Her name was Mathilde, and he started talking about that dress because that dress was beautiful, and he wanted Mathilde to wear that dress in order to go to that party. But why, what's the matter with you, he asked concern as she began to cry now. But she was not listening to him at all, because something else was going into her head, at that time. So she started crying. She was not at all listening what her husband was trying to tell, or what her husband was trying to persuade about. So she was not listening at all. Rather, on the contrary, she started crying. So her husband asked, "What's the matter? Why are you crying?" With great effort, she overcame her grief and replied in a calm voice, "Nothing, only I haven't got the dress and I can't go. So give the invitation to some friend of yours whose wife will be turned out better than me." So what she said, she was not interested because she hadn't got the dress, or she hadn't got the kind of dress which was suited to her for that kind of high class events or high class affairs. So that's why she was not interested at all to go to the party or attend the party, and she wanted him to give that invitation to some of his friends, because maybe they were rich and they were quite suited for the party. So she was not interested at all. Okay, so look here, Mathilde, he persisted, what would be the cost of a suitable dress which you could use on other occasions as well? Something very simple. Then what happened, something started going into the head of her husband, as to he did not want her to be unhappy. He did not want her to be sad because of the lacking of the dress, the kind of dress she wanted actually. So he tried to persuade her, and he also tried to, so he wanted her to be happy at any cost, and that's why he made up his mind that he would give her some money so that she could buy a dress of her choice, and thus she could attend the party. And now she thought for several seconds, wondering how large a sum she could ask for without bringing upon herself an immediate refusal, and an exclamation of horror from the careful minded clerk. Now she's a very smart girl, also smart woman also for that matter, because she did not want to tell her husband such a cost or such a price of a dress, which could bring a kind of refusal from his side, because she also knew that her husband was a means of her husband was a man of little means. It's not that her husband was a very rich person. So she knew the limitations of her husband, and according to those limitations she wanted to tell her husband about the cost or about the price, for which she was she would buy the dress for. Fine. So, and nor she wanted any kind of horror on the face of her husband, because if she told her husband any high price or something like that, then obviously that was going to make her husband horrified. So she did not want that either. Fine. So at last she replied, "I don't know exactly, but I think I could do it for 400 francs. So after a lot of considerations, she thought that 400 francs would be okay, and she thought that her husband would be all right after having heard 400 francs. So she decided and told her husband 400 francs, not more than that. Fine. So why this is so dark over here? Anyways, so it's not going. Anyways, he grew slightly pale, for this was exactly the amount he had been saving to buy a gun to go shooting next summer on the plain of the on the plain of Nanterre, I think. Actually, this story belongs to the uh, French writer, and this story belongs to France, of course. So many words over here have been written in French, so it's very difficult for us to pronounce these words correctly. Fine. So with some friends, actually, uh, he got slightly nervous, you could say, after hearing this 400 francs from the mouth of her wife, because actually he had decided to buy a gun. Yes, he had decided to buy something else. What was that? That was gun, with which he was also planning to go for shooting the next summer with his some of his friends. So that's why he got somewhat nervous after hearing this 400 francs, which he was planning to do something else with. So nevertheless, but even then, he said that very well, I'll give you 400 francs. But and then after that he got or he agreed to give 400 francs to her, to his wife. As the day of party drew near, Madame Loisel seemed uneasy and anxious. One evening, her husband asked, "What's the matter with you?" So let's see that still something else is going on in her head. Still, she is not happy. Still, she is anxious or nervous, uneasy. She's worried. Not she's ill at ease. Again, three synonyms I have given you: worried, anxious, ill at ease. So again, she is ill at ease. Why? Because something else is going on in her mind. What? Let's see. So one of the evenings, her husband asked, "What is the matter with you? Why you are so worried? About what you are so worried?" So let's go to the next. So now, what she said? See, yes. Now I have no jewels to wear, she replied. I would almost rather not go to the party. So once again, there was a new excuse in her mind that she would not go to the party because she had not got any jewels to wear in such kind of high class party. Okay, so wear flowers, he said. They were very smart at this time of the year. For 10 francs, you could get two or three gorgeous roses. So she said, so her husband suggested her to wear flowers, but she was not ready for that. And no, she made some kinds of excuses that the vendors were so smart that they were not ready to give, or they would give only two to three gorgeous roses for only 10 francs. So she was not again ready for that kind of jewels. So she wanted something else, and she knew that she hadn't got any kind of jewel, so she again did not want to attend that party. So she was not convinced. No, there is so humiliating as looking poor in the midst of rich women. So what she said, she did not want to look so humiliating. That means she did not want to look embarrassing, among the women who belong to the higher classes of the society. And ultimately she didn't want to go. Her husband said, "Why don't you ask Madame Forestier to lend you some jewels? You know her well enough for that." So again her husband suggested that she must have a talk with Madame Forestier to give her some jewels for the party. She uttered a cry of delight. And that's true, I never thought of that. And she, having heard this from the mouth of her husband, she got very happy, and she thought that yes, she could take some jewels from Forestier for the time being and for that party. Next day she went to see her friend and told her of her the trouble. Madame Forestier went to her dressing table and bought a large box. She opened it and said, choose my dear. Now Mrs. Forestier or Madame Forestier gave Loisel the box in which she had got a lot of jewels, and she asked Mathilde to choose the one she liked. First, Madame Loisel saw some bracelets, then pearl necklace, then Venetian cross, exquisite workmanship. She tried to effect of the jewels before the mirror, hesitating, unable to make up her mind. Suddenly, she discovered in a black satin case magnificent diamond necklace. So she had a look at many of the jewels over there, but she did not like them at all. But ultimately, she got something which she liked the most, and um, she made up her mind that uh, she made up her mind to ask her friend to give that magnificent diamond necklace to her for that party. Now the diamond necklace which she chose out of those jewels, uh, which Madame Forestier had got. So that necklace was really magnificent and splendid, impressive. So again, you could write some of the synonyms. So you could write splendid, impressive, striking, wonderful, spectacular. So that diamond necklace was indeed very beautiful to look at, and that's why uh, Loisel started hesitating. Actually, she was not sure whether she should ask Madame Forestier for that necklace, as it was extremely expensive and magnificent. But at last, mustering all her courage, she decided that she would ask Madame Forestier for that necklace. So could you lend me this, just this alone? Yes, of course. So she asked for the necklace, and she got the answer yes. She embraced her friend frenziedly and went away with her treasure. So she embraced her friend. That means Mathilde actually hugged her friend. Frenziedly means you could write hurriedly and wildly. All of a sudden she hugged her Madame Forestier, and she went away because she was very happy with the treasure she had taken from. Um, what is the name? Oh my god! Again and again I'm forgetting, because these are so typical to pronounce as well. Forestier, yes. So the day of party arrived. Madame Loisel was success. She was the prettiest woman present, elegant, graceful, smiling. All the men inquired her and asked to be introduced to her. And the day of the party came ultimately, and Miss Madame Loisel was a success. Actually, exactly the same thing happened which she wanted. What she wanted to look so beautiful and charming that everybody should inquire of her. Everybody should want to make friends with her, and everybody should want to talk to her. And the exactly same things happened in the party, and she was really very beautiful, happy. And as her dress was pretty fair, and the kind of jewelry she was wearing was excellent and magnificent. So she got a great success out of that she wanted to do. Fine. So elegant, graceful, smiling, these are some of the words. You can use these words, no problem. All the men ho gaya. She danced ecstatically. Okay, let me give you some of the synonyms for elegant. Oh, I could not stop myself, because it's so tiresome to give so many of synonyms of each and every word. So many synonyms to give, it's so tiresome, isn't it? But even then, I want to give these synonyms for your benefits, as if you make use of these synonyms at the time of your examination, that's really going to get you a good name, and that's really going to get you good marks. So I can't, stop myself. So you can write for elegant, stylish, effective, and for graceful, sophisticated. Okay, so again I have given you some of the synonyms for these words. So let it be. So today, let it be up to here. Let it be up to here, and in my next video I'll start from here. See, danced, stay tactically. So yes, once again, I want to talk to you people that I really labor hard, while making these videos, because first of all I collect all the synonyms for you. I write them, and then because I have to give you all the synonyms while I'm teaching you the chapters, and so it's very tiresome, I have already told you, and it's really needs a lot of labor from my part. So if you like my ways of teaching, and if you are benefited even a little, then please like my videos and subscribe to my channel and channels, because I have also one another channel which is Social Studies with Ritu. So you can go to that channel also, you can watch videos, and there also I have given all the full explanations of each and every chapter with all the images and maps and everything possible from my part. So that is also a channel, a kind of channel where I have labored hard for you people. So you can go to those channels also and subscribe to that channel also, and this channel also along with this. So that's why, if you like my ways of teaching, so please like my videos, subscribe to my channels, and also share with your friends. Okay, so let's meet in the next video, and with since we have not finished this chapter, so in our next video we will study the next part. Till then, bye bye.